So, I wanted to make something simple. Just a cozy Minecraft video, nothing special. I had this nice little plan in my head, exactly how it would go. And then, well, you're watching it happen. That moment right there, that's the one. You know how it is with plans. We love them, we make them all the time. A perfect video, a great project, a good day. We draw this clean line in our heads from where we are to where we want to be. And we really believe that line is real. Spoiler, it's not. Never was. Honestly, you can plan all you want. Prepare every detail, and still, life throws something at you. Something small, something stupid, something you never saw coming. And just like that, your clean line is gone. Your perfect plan out the window. And honestly, I think that's just how life works. It's messy by nature. We just forget that, because everywhere we look, there's perfect pictures, perfect success stories. Nobody posts their failed attempts. Nobody shows you the moment right before they gave up. But that moment, the messy one, the one you didn't plan, that's real. That's where actual life is. You know, I used to think that if something didn't go exactly the way I imagined it, I'd fail it. Like, if the picture in my head didn't match what actually happened, the whole thing was just worthless. But somewhere along the way, I noticed something funny. The moments I actually remember, the ones that stuck with me years later, they were never the perfect ones. They were the weird ones, the awkward ones. The times when everything went sideways and I just had to figure it out. And I think there's a reason for that. Perfect is forgettable. It all looks the same. But the thing that breaks and then get fixed in some unexpected way, that's yours. That belongs to you. So, when everything goes wrong, you have a choice. Really simple actually. Option 1. You'll say forget it. It's ruined, I'm done. You drop the whole thing, let one failure convince you it was all a mistake. You walk away. Option 2. You breathe. You look at the mess and you ask, okay, what now? What can I do with this? That little question right there, that changes everything. Option 1 is just a dead end. Option 2 is a door. It's creative. It's life. You're not pretending the failure didn't happen. You're just refusing to let it be the end of the story. The tricky thing is despair. When things fall apart, it's so easy to sink into it. You start thinking nothing will ever work out. You lose faith. You stop seeing options. And the cruel part, in that exact moment when you feel the most stuck, there are really opportunities around you. You just can't see them. Despair makes you blind. It's like walking into a dark room. You bump into stuff, you trip, you think the whole room is just walls. Nothing but walls. But if you just stop for a second, let your eyes adjust, shapes start to appear. A window, a door, something you missed before. The room didn't change. You just stopped panicking long enough to actually look. And I think that's what happened when we give up too soon. We leave the room before our eyes ever adjust. We decide it's hopeless before we've really looked. I think about all the times I almost gave up over something small. One mistake, one bad moment. And if I had stopped, I would have never known what came next. And here's the big one. The thought that really stayed with me. Most of the barriers that stop us, they're not real. They're only in our heads. And the thing is, they're just stories. Stories we tell ourselves. And we can always tell a different one. Think about it. Two people go through the exact same thing. One says, See? Proof, I'm not good enough, I should quit. The other one says, okay, that didn't work, what else can I try? Same situation, completely different experience. The difference isn't what happened to them. It's the story they started telling themselves the moment things went wrong. And here's the wild part. You get to choose which person you are. Not once, not on some special day, every single time. I could have looked at my little failure and thought, it's over. I'm not good at this, I should quit. And every one of those thoughts would have felt true. But none of them were true. They were just stories. The only real barrier was how I choose to see it. You can't control what happens to you, but you can always control the story you tell yourself about it. And that's not just some nice quote. That's a skill, something you can practice. I want to say this clearly because someone watching might really need to hear it. There is always a way out. Every situation has an exit. Sometimes it's obvious, sometimes it's hidden. Sometimes the exit is just letting go of the perfect picture in your head and accepting something new, something you didn't plan, but something that might actually be better. The thing I ended up making was not what I planned, but honestly, it was more real. And people connect with real, not with perfect, with true. So, if you're holding onto a plan that's falling apart right now, don't give up because of one setback. Don't let one failed attempt convince you to stop. Don't let one bad day convince you your whole life is off course. Plans will fail. Life will surprise you. Things will go wrong in ways you never expected. But inside every failure is a little seed, a chance to make something new. Not in spite of the mess, because of it. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. When you're in the middle of it, the plan is in pieces. You're standing in a mess you never asked it for. It doesn't feel like some gift, it feels like a disaster. And maybe it is. Maybe it really is a disaster right then. I'm not asking you to pretend otherwise. But here's what I'm saying. Don't decide the ending before the ending actually happens. You don't know what this mess is gonna turn into. Not yet. And the only way to find out is to stick around a little longer. To ask that question, what now? And actually wait for an answer. Because here's what I've learned from my little disaster. The goal was not the point. The perfect video was not the point. The point was that I shoved up. I tried, and when it broke, I didn't look away. I stayed with it. And that's the part nobody talks about. We talk about success, we talk about failure. But that moment in between, where you just standing there, staring at the mess, deciding whether to walk or stay, that moment is lonely. But it's also where everything is still possible. So, if that's where you are right now, with your own version of a mess, your own thing that didn't go how you wanted, I just want to say, I get it. And you're not alone in it. Not really. And from here, you get to decide what happens next. Not the plan, not the failure. You. So next time everything goes wrong, and yeah, it will, ask yourself that one simple question. Not why me, not why am I so unlucky, just what now? And then do that. Breathe, look around, take one step, any step, don't stop. Thanks for being here. If any of this means something to you, leave a comment. Even just a word, I read them all. And if you want more videos like this, please subscribe. I'd love to have you back. Until next time, take care.